The Last of Us Part 2 map design will have something called as the open level design. Now this is kind of like a semi-open world game, but at the same time it's just limited to the level system rather than it being a fully open world. Now Naughty Dog have shared some in-depth details on how the new map system is going to work and how this is going to make a very huge difference compared to their first game. We'll go through all of that information in this video, so make sure you guys watch it till the end, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So the developers at Naughty Dog shared some brand new details on the new open level design system for The Last of Us Part 2. Now Anthony Newman, who is the co-game director, said that they wanted to give the players much more freedom with the gameplay aspect. So the first big thing that they changed in the game was to design the map to be much larger in size. So they've now expanded the spaces and the size of the map entirely. So this will now allow the players to choose between multiple directions in which you can choose to go. Now of course there will be different consequences you will have to face if you decide to take a different path from the other one, and this basically allows the players to make their own decisions when it comes to how they want to approach the map. And whether they want to explore the map or risk getting spotted or even being jumped by unexpected things in the world, or you can also choose to take the easier way out or even crawl under a broken house and take a more stealthier approach, it is all up to the player's choice. Now the bigger map size in each levels will let the players strategize each of their moves, and everything in the game will feel much more natural and more dynamic, and the things that you have seen or the routes that you have taken will not be the same to every other player that plays the game, because not every part of the gameplay is going to be scripted in The Last of Us Part 2. So the game will now allow you to play the way you want, and all of that isn't really possible without the new vertical map designing. Now what is a vertical map designing? Now a vertical map design is basically when a game is designed both horizontally as well as vertically, and the map will now have multiple ways in which you can reach your objective location, so the players can choose between any direction they want to walk into. Now you can even walk into a house, and the house is going to be fully designed with interiors and also with exteriors, which is going to allow players to reach places that we have never seen before in The Last of Us Part 1. And one good example of that is going to be from the scene where Ellie gets into the house here, and then she decides to jump out of the roof of the house and play the way that she wants. So you can either choose to play on the ground level, or you can also choose to elevate on a higher ground and get onto the roofs of the buildings, or you can even go all the way underground if you want to into broken buildings, or even squeeze yourself into weird places where the game will let you do anything that you want and play the way that players want to play the game. So comparing this to The Last of Us Part 1, the previous game was basically scripted all the way from the beginning of the story sequence to each and every gameplay moves that you make in the game. So everything in The Last of Us was basically planned by the developers, so you're basically just doing what the game wants you to do. But in The Last of Us Part 2, the game will now give you much more options in which you can now choose to strategize and play the way that you want, and choose between different directions and different locations in order to get to your objectives. Now The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be the second game in the upcoming next-gen titles that is going to be using a vertical design for the map, and the other game which is also using a vertical design is Cyberpunk 2077 by CD Projekt Red, which I guess most of you guys have already heard about that. Now when I say vertical map design or even open level designing, a lot of you guys confuse them to be something like what we have seen in God of War PS4, where you could go anywhere in a level and return back to those levels anytime you want, which kind of feels like a semi-open world game, to be honest. Now The Last of Us Part 2 is not going to be the same. The game will not be allowing you to travel between different levels at any time you want like what God of War did, but each level designing in The Last of Us 2 will have a very open world, kind of like a feature where you can now explore and choose your strategies and path in which you want to explore the level. And choosing different paths will always have different consequences with each different gameplay experience, where you will be missing out different locations which you might have otherwise seen if you took the other route, or you might even have missed out some collectible items if you would have gone the other way around, or you might even see some kind of an Easter egg or some kind of story element on the other route which you will not be able to see since you have chosen to go the other direction. So the only way to experience everything that the game has to offer is by replaying the game over and over, and every time you replay the game you will see something different and something new that you might have totally missed out on. Now the game is designed in a very dynamic way and the NPCs in the game are said to be extremely smart as well. So let's say that you saw a small hole in one of the buildings and you plan to squeeze yourself into a broken building, but then in this situation you're being chased by a dog or any of the enemies now spot you, so you will now need to make decisions really quick, so the game will not work exactly as what you have planned or exactly how you want to play the game. So every time you play the game you will always experience something new or discover a new location and a whole new experience. Or you might even be in a very tight situation where you are forced to run into locations that you did not really plan to go to, so every encounter in the game is going to feel more dynamic and much more in real time. Now Neil Druckmann said that even though you complete the entire game once or twice, players will always have much more content in the game which we might have completely missed out, because the world is so dynamic and super large in size that you cannot really see everything at once, which means that the game will now allow you to completely miss all the scripted sequences as well. Now Anthony Newman also said that even if you have completed the entire game, there will always be story moments, combat encounters and fully scripted sequences which you will absolutely miss, and also you cannot really upgrade your characters and abilities to the max level even after beating the full game, because in order to do that you will have to replay the game multiple times, because the game is so big that you can't really collect all of the items that you need in just one single playthrough. So the game is basically going to be having that NG plus feature, so as you keep replaying the game you're going to be collecting all the stuffs from your first playthrough all the way to whatever playthroughs you're doing over and over. So the game definitely seems to be having a lot of replayable option, so no matter how many times you play the game you'll always keep experiencing something different. Now if you guys have any question you want to ask me about the game that I might have missed out on this video or on my previous videos, then let me know in the comments down below and I will reply to as many of you guys as I possibly can, and your comment might also get a chance to get featured on my next video and I will be giving you guys a shout out as well. And if you guys are looking for a YouTube channel that covers videos of The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk 2077 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, then you should consider subscribing to my channel and turn the bell notifications on, so that way YouTube can let you know when I release my brand new videos every single day. With that being said, I'm also doing a giveaway of The Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk 2077 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla digital download code for standard edition, and you can get a chance to win them by simply staying most active on my channel and also on my Twitter page, and I will be DMing the codes to the winners, and the winners can choose any of the 3 games you want and also on any of the platforms you want. So make sure you guys always go ahead and give your luck a shot. And please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy the content or found the information valuable, as that would really help support my channel. With that being said, I hope you guys have a blast of a day and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Till then, take care friends and goodbye.